The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the caliper off, and the caliper's got two bolts. I think they're 13 millimeters. I'm not sure why it's metric on a Jeep, but these are 13 millimeter bolts, and just going to get those off so I can get to the piston. I've got the brake line clamped off so that it doesn't spill brake fluid everywhere. And I've also got a little piece of wire here that I'm going to use in a minute to hang the caliper on so I don't damage it. Okay, I've got the two caliper bolts off, so hopefully this caliper will come right off. You can actually see, I don't know if I can get this in here or not. Let me just take it off real quick. You can actually see the seal where it's torn, and that's what the problem is.
Do you need anything?
No. So we got the caliper off. Looks like I'm going to need some, well, yeah, I'm going to need some new brake shoes. I might need a new rotor too. So it's definitely the piston's bad. It looks like the daggum piston's cracked too. It's all gooned up. So that's not good. Huh. Never seen anything quite like that, but it's a problem. I'm getting ready to take the rotor off, and I had these two little flexible keepers that I had to just pull off. I mean, they're not really needed, but they're just on there from the factory, I guess. But if you don't get them off, it's a devil to get the rotor off. And it should come off fairly easily, although it's kind of stuck. I'm sure with all the heat that was generated when those when that rotor got stuck. We just have to try to get it off as best we can.
Are you going to reuse that thing?
No, this is bad. Alrighty, got it off, and you can tell this thing is messed up really bad. It's got a big gouge right here, and it's all pitted up, so it's shot. I just need to inspect this because I'm kind of concerned that that's bad too. Looks like the emergency brake pads are shot. I mentioned before, but just to reiterate, you know, I had problems with the brake caliper and the rotor and all that, and I've got all the parts to replace those. But when I took off the rotor, I noticed that the parking brake pads or shoes, I should say, are completely wore out. So I figured since I've got it all apart, I might as well replace the parking brake shoes. But I'm not really looking forward to it because it looks like it's going to be a tedious job. There's some springs and stuff in here that's holding these tight that have to come off, and those are never fun to, you know, to take off and on. So I'm going to give her a shot here. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to try to do is get this front spring off. Just so I can get the camera around here a little better. I try to needle those pliers, but it's kind of hard to get to that spring. Just try a screwdriver to get by there. There we go. Got that one off. The next thing, you've got two clips. You got one here and there's one on the bottom. You just have to pop these clips off. There's a little pin behind here that comes off. And the same thing on the bottom. I'm just kind of wondering if I should have got a new spring kit. These are kind of rusty, but we'll see. These kind of come off. You got the over here. There's the adjustment screw. I think it's just stuck. Is it? It's supposed to just slide in there. Alright, I got the parking brake pads off and everything kind of scraped as clean as I could get it with a wire brush, and I'm going to spray some brake cleaner on it. Starting out, I'm just going to take the adjuster, the front adjuster, and just clean it up as best I can and put a little bit of grease on it so that the adjustment nut slides good. I'm going to spray just a little bit of this rust penetrator on this rear adjuster. This is actually the piece that when you apply the brake, it pulls the brakes and locks them in. This is going to be the tricky part, is getting it back together. So basically what I've got here, this is the old one. And I've got these two springs. And you want to make sure you get them so that the spring part, the clip part, is close together so that they are in there flush and kind of parallel. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the clip, at least on the top. I'm going to come back in a second, but I'm going to get a clamp so that that stays in place. The clamp on here just to hold the pad or the shoe in place. And now I've got to get this clip and pop it back on and hold that on like that. So do it on the bottom too. Actually. Alright, it definitely helps to have two hands. Because what took me about an hour and a half yesterday by myself took me about 5 minutes today. So I got the clips popped in there. You can see it right there on the top, and the same one on the bottom, and that's what keeps the shoe from popping off. Now I've got to get the front and rear springs on and the adjuster. Well, I've got it back together. It was as painful as I thought it was going to be. These clips right there are really hard to get in there, because you can't really get any purchase with your fingers. But I got them in. There's one on the bottom too. So now I've just got to get the rotors on and make sure it's adjusted properly. I've got the new rotor back in here. A lot different than the one that come off of it. The other one was just, it was fried. I got the parking brakes back together, and I got the rotor over the parking brakes. That was really painful, you know. You just got to finagle around with the adjuster and make sure that the parking brakes, brake shoes, are flush against the inside of the wheel hub. And be careful when you put your rotor on that you don't knock it off. I kept doing that and I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't go on. And even when I got it on once, it wouldn't turn. So now it's turning. I just have to adjust it. So that's kind of half the battle right there. But anyway, now I just got to put the caliper and all that back on, and then get on the other side. So I went ahead and bought a remanufactured caliper, and it came with a bracket, so that's what I'm going to put back on. We'll start with the bracket.
On 101 The Fox. Hold on a second. I'm choking on some sunflower seeds. I should know better. Well, you damn right I haven't knocked you out. What's going on?
Okay, well these clips, if you notice, they got like a little tab that comes off to the side on both of them. You want that to be facing out. And the thing about it is that one of them will go one way and the other go the other way, so you have to figure out which is which. And then once you get those in, the brake pad just slips right in there. You just kind of slip it in the bottom and then hook it into the top. There you go. So I got those in. I just got to put the caliper on.
Maybe you're in the wrong place. So remember, if you can count to 3, you can
Okay, I
get the
got
job
two
done
places
right.
here. One, this is the bleeder valve. And then over here, where that little plug is where the brake line goes, so just got to pop that off.
More double plays than anyone this season. You know what that means?
And get nothing. Buy one, get one free the next day till 11 a.m.
Bingo! Round ball up the middle.
Visit BioLifePlasma.com or download the
Okay, we've got
BioLifePlasma
this little
app to schedule an appointment.
hollow bolt.
Kansas City residents.
Let me show you that.
Optical fiber is bailing
That's
out
what
Louisville
you
and
screw the brake line on with, and it's got a little crush washer that goes on there.
The network built for the future. Spectrum is here for the long haul, delivering internet speeds from 200 megabits per second up to a gig, and based on the latest FCC broadband reports.
It's March Madness on 101 The Fox. Get in, check the brackets, and vote at 101thefox.net on Facebook or text Madness, BANDNESS to 68255. The heavy hitters move to the second round with Def Leppard and Aerosmith. Madness on 101.
What's it gonna be, man? March Madness is underway. I'm talking about Def Leppard. Oh, you know, Def Leppard up against Aerosmith. You know what do you think? Check out the brackets at 101thefox.net.
Well, got that one
He takes the word
on.
Bandis, B-A-N-D.
Seems to be on there right. Well, we'll see.
To 68255.
Something just
Who's gonna
looks
cut
weird.
down the nets? We'll find out. Thanks to the Garment House, our proud sponsor down at 10th and Broadway in downtown. Are you texting? You should be.